Why do you seek Imperial favor?
Years ago, my people were all but destroyed. My anger gives me strength. It is that strength I offer the Empire.
Offer accepted.
I'm here to present you with an opportunity, Bariss.
Just be glad you're not a Jedi anymore.
Your path is set, Morgan Elsbeth. I will fulfill my destiny.
Mercy only breeds defeat. But I will help you overcome this weakness. Attack!
You said the Empire would help to change things.
Everything comes at a cost. My world has been burning since I was a child. You cannot stop what has begun.
Now you must face one final test. To join us. It is time you meet your new master. Long live the Empire!
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. Star Wars just dropped a brand new Tales of the Empire trailer for a series they're going to be releasing all on May 4th. It's a bunch of short episodes. It's basically like the Empire version, like the Sith version of Tales of the Jedi that they released a couple years ago. There's a bunch of Easter eggs here for stuff that happens during Ahsoka Season 1, stuff that will happen during Ahsoka Season 2. Like, there's a reason why they're showing you certain characters here. Like, pay attention to this because these characters might show up in live action pretty soon. So we'll break it all down. If you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the episodes. I will do a video for the episodes when they release them like I did for Tales of the Jedi. I'll link that below in the description too, but it's not coming out till May 4th because it is Star Wars Day. We're also probably going to get a much bigger story-based trailer for Star Wars Acolyte during that. That's set during the High Republic. That's like a completely separate thing, though. This obviously is meant to take place in a couple different parts of the timeline, mostly right after Order 66, and because they get into Morgan Elsbeth's backstory, a lot of the flashbacks to the Clone Wars are stuff that we saw during the actual episodes for the Nightsisters, but with Morgan Elsbeth just added in because they only created the character recently for the Mandalorian in the Ahsoka series. So for a lot of these shorts, it's just meant to fill in the backstory. Like, this is where these characters came from. This is how they wound up where they are in present day. And for instance, Bariss Offee, this is what happened to her after Star Wars The Clone Wars Season 5 when she was on trial and condemned, went to prison, and what happened to her after Order 66. She's really the character that I'm expecting to surprise show up during Ahsoka Season 2 or a future season of Ahsoka at some point. Like, why else would you introduce her and show what happened to her, how she became an Inquisitor, make her such a big deal if you weren't going to introduce her in live action eventually? Anybody in that part of the timeline who isn't confirmed dead could totally show up in live action, basically. Starting at the beginning of the trailer footage, we see Thrawn show up at the Corvus planet that we saw during The Mandalorian. That was the planet where Morgan Elsbeth was when Ahsoka came to look for Thrawn. Notice you can still see her wielding her Beskar spear there because Ahsoka has not shown up to take the spear yet. This is Thrawn's Chimera Star Destroyer, which we just saw during the Ahsoka series. None the worse for wear, like they'd patched it up over the years in that other Peridia galaxy. And the way they cut the footage is a little misleading. Like, it seems like she bargains with Thrawn for a spot on his team, basically, and starts taking over his supply chain, essentially. Like, she manages resources for Thrawn. In very important detail, look, he's wearing the green military uniform because he has not become a Grand Admiral yet. He's still Admiral Thrawn. The way they explained what she was doing on this Corvus planet is that the Empire was just strip mining it for resources and the other systems in the area, and she was just managing all that for him. So we see them actually make the bargain where she says that she can give him all of her strength, and obviously is talking about all the Nightsister stuff on the side too, even though they don't say it during the actual trailer, like, I can offer you all of these things and a lot more, wink wink. We have all these Nightsisters that are super powerful just waiting in the other galaxy we can go get. So it sounds like when she makes the bargain with him, she tells him about what's going on in the pretty galaxy because the Nightsisters can communicate across time and space. So even though this is long before they actually do travel to the other galaxy, she knows that all the Nightsisters are there. So this is probably the beginning of Thrawn's plan to marshal all these forces, like just resources that he knows he has waiting in the wings when he's ready to use them. Probably why he was not super worried when he wound up in the other galaxy, like, oh, by the way, there's all these resources that I knew about here. But what we're seeing here is stuff that went down during those original Clone Wars episodes when Count Dooku sent the Separatist army in General Grievous to kill all the Nightsisters. Even though obviously she survived, some of the other Nightsisters survived, they wiped out most of the Nightsisters. Notice she has the white skin, the Nightsister tattoos. So many people asked about this in present day during the Mandalorian Ahsoka Season 1, like, why does she have the Nightsister tattoos? The way they explain it is that after this goes down, like after she survives the attack, she gets rid of the tattoos and makes herself look like a more normal person so that the Empire won't single her out, especially with what happened during Order 66 and the Inquisitors going after all Force sensitives, not just hunting down the Jedi, but anybody who was Force sensitive, and that includes any Nightsisters. So she got rid of the tattoos and the markings mostly as a survival tactic. But then when the Nightsisters empowered her again and gave her the Sword of Talzin, Mother Talzin, who's also part of these original Clone Wars episodes when this is going down, she got all the Nightsister tattoos and markings back. This is all just the destruction on Dathomir the next day after the attack goes down. And if it wasn't clear, these other Nightsisters that are with her that also survived the attack are part of the Mountain Clan, and they survived because they were hidden in the mountains. But they explain in the trailer how they sort of put her on this path to collide with Thrawn, ally with him, and then everything that leads to what you see during the Ahsoka series. Then they transition to the Bariss Offee episode footage. This is the fourth sister. We actually saw her in present day during the Obi-Wan Kenobi series in live action when they were trying to hunt him down. This is them revealing that after Bariss Offee's trial during Clone Wars Season 5, she was sent to prison, obviously, and just sat there rotting in prison through Order 66, and this is happening after that. So I think the idea is that when the Emperor created the Inquisitorius, put Darth Vader in charge of it, and they started going around hunting down all the Jedi, the Force sensitives they could find, they knew they had her in a now Imperial prison, just chilling out. She was Force sensitive, so they tried to turn her. They also did this with a lot of other Jedi they would hunt down too. Like, they would give them the opportunity to turn to the Inquisitorius, turn to the dark side, essentially. Most of them obviously chose not to and fought to the death. Bariss Offee, it seems like, not so much. She will take that offer. She will become an Inquisitor. We see the Mountain Clan Nightsisters training Morgan Elsbeth with those Iraqi curved weapons to fight the Separatist droids that are still there. She seems like she mows through a lot of the regular battle droids. This scene of her in front of this burning wreckage is from much later in the timeline, though. I'll explain in a second. We see the Grand Inquisitor training Bariss Offee, like this is the early stages of her becoming an Inquisitor. All the lightsabers here that he allows her to pick from are essentially lightsabers taken from Jedi that they've captured or killed. You can actually see them on display in the background during the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, all around the room. It's not totally clear if this planet is Coruscant or another one. I'm guessing that it's Coruscant. This seems like it's happening from much closer to present day, but before Ahsoka showed up on Corvus looking for Thrawn, because she's still got the spear, but she looks pretty close to the age she was during the Mandalorian series. You also see the blue New Republic uniforms on these officers here that we also saw during the Mandalorian series later in the timeline. It seems like she tries to bargain with these people, then winds up fighting them with her Beskar spear, and then winds up blowing up their ship because this scene is the ship that you see this person running to later. R.I.P. And she's also got Thrawn's HK droids behind her here too, so she's already made the bargain with Thrawn. My guess would be that Ahsoka probably shows up a little while after this. We get a shot of General Grievous going after Morgan Elsbeth back when they're attacking Dathomir and the Nightsisters. Notice he only has 2 lightsabers, even though he pulls the same spinning lightsaber trick.
Hello there.
General Kenobi.
If he'd had 4 lightsabers this time, he might have been able to kill her. Notice when she's fighting him, you can actually see her curved Iraqi glowing with Nightsister Force energy. They call that magic. It's spelled with a K, like it's spelled a little bit differently, and only they can use it. Luke Skywalker, other regular Jedi, can't tap into it. But like the Nightsisters, it's just part of another discipline of the way people tap into the Force. Like there's a lot of different Force users around the galaxy who are not just Jedi or Sith. This is a scene of the 4th sister trying to kill another Jedi on one of the Inquisitor's missions. This scene of the explosion here seems like it's Morgan Elsbeth blowing up a bunch of these battle droids using the Force. The Grand Inquisitor gives Bariss Offee her final test to join the Inquisitorius. She has to kill the other person here, who could be another Jedi trainee that's trying to turn to the dark side and become an Inquisitor too, or just another random Jedi that they captured and forced to fight to the death. But notice when he throws the lightsaber to them, like, you have to pick this up and kill the other person, it's a red Sith lightsaber. Then he introduces all of them to Darth Vader as their new master, aka Anakin Skywalker. Very apropos, because that last episode that we saw Bariss Offee in, when Ahsoka was put on trial with Bariss Offee, also was heavy with Anakin Skywalker. A lot of callbacks here, like, oh, long time no see, I remember you when I got kicked out of the Jedi Order. Very clearly, she winds up killing that other person in her test, and you see her in the full black Inquisitor armor. Also, zoom and enhance, another big connection to the Ahsoka series. This is Marrok right behind her, but he's not a Nightsister zombie yet, very much alive here. The Inquisitor behind him is also the one that Ahsoka wound up killing at the end of Tales of the Jedi on that planet in the Outer Rim, whose twin lightsabers she took, purified, and those are the white lightsabers that you see her using in present day. And they do this with a lot of Star Wars logos where like the lightsaber cuts out the logo, but this time they do it with a Sith red lightsaber and end on the red Disney Plus logo. Basically like Tales of the Jedi, but for Team Evil, like yay, Team Evil. A lot of people will now be asking, does this mean that they're preparing to have Bariss Offee show up in the present day of the timeline during Ahsoka Season 2 with the Nightsisters storyline? Because there's so much Nightsisters, Morgan Elsbeth going on here. Why would you introduce Bariss Offee as part of this if you weren't also going to use her in present day? Like, part of the whole reason here is to explain some of the backstory of what happened during Ahsoka Season 1. I have not heard about the full cast list for Ahsoka Season 2, but Dave Filoni's just been talking about making it along with Rosario Dawson, the other cast members. Like I said earlier, pretty much anybody who's alive in that part of the timeline, either good, bad, Jedi, Sith, anybody at all, is fair game to show up. If there's any other Easter eggs or references in the trailer that I didn't talk about in the video you spotted, just write them below in the comments. There's a bunch of big stuff coming up. We got a bunch of big announcements the last couple of days. I'll try to do videos for all of the really big stuff as quickly as possible, so be sure to enable alerts for my channel so you don't miss anything. I've already done an Ahsoka Season 2 teaser trailer video. Click here for that to learn what's going on. And click here to learn about the Mandalorian Grogu movie that they're working on instead of the Mandalorian Season 4. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.